If you've been meaning to get life insurance but don't know where to start, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to help you understand how term life insurance works, how much coverage you actually need, and the most common mistakes people make. If at any point you just want to jump to my step-by-step walkthrough for getting a quote and applying online, then click on the link in the pinned comment below, or stick with me and you'll be prompted at the end of this video to get the step-by-step process. Why people avoid life insurance. Most people don't avoid life insurance because they don't care about their family. They avoid it because the process feels uncomfortable and confusing. Maybe you filled out a form once and your phone started blowing up. Or maybe you're worried you'll be pressured into buying something you don't fully understand. Or you just assume it's expensive and I'll deal with it later. That mindset is incredibly common. The problem is that waiting doesn't make life insurance any cheaper. Actually, in most cases, it becomes much more expensive or harder to qualify for, since insurance premiums are based heavily on age and health. And the truth is, most people don't need a complicated policy. They just need coverage that works if something unexpected happens. What life insurance is actually for. Life insurance isn't really about death. It's about buying your family time to grieve, time to adjust, time to avoid rushed financial decisions. And at its core, life insurance exists to replace income and cover obligations if you're no longer there. This includes things like monthly living expenses, a mortgage or rent payments, childcare, education costs, paying off debts, or just giving your spouse or partner some breathing room. A simple way to think about it is this. If your income disappeared tomorrow, how long would your family be financially okay? Life insurance is meant to fill that gap. It's not about leaving behind a fortune. It's about preventing financial stress during an already difficult time. Online versus agent purchases. Now, I want to be very clear about something. Buying life insurance online does not mean you're buying a lower quality product. In fact, many brokers sell the same term life insurance products that consumers can access online today. And buying online doesn't mean cutting corners either. It's actually just cutting you pressure and cutting you a ton of time. So if you want straightforward term life insurance, buying online can be your most fast and efficient process. And if at any point you want help, guidance, or confirmation that you're making the right choice, that's where a licensed professional like myself comes in. How much life insurance do I need? This is where a lot of people get stuck. How much coverage is right for me and my family? The truth is, you don't need an exact number. You just need a reasonable range. Here's a simple framework that works for most people. First, take your annual income and multiply it by 10 or 15. This gives you a baseline for income replacement. Then add in major obligations like a mortgage balance, student loans, other large debts, and estimated costs for children. Here's an example to give you a little bit more understanding. John, a healthy 35-year-old, earns $100,000 a year, and he's got a $500,000 mortgage. A reasonable starting point for John might be $1.5 million of 20-year term coverage. In this scenario, that would cost John around $50 a month. At this very affordable rate, John would prefer to buy more death benefit for his family. So at $2 million of coverage, the price would jump to around $65. The coverage just needs to be enough, and the cost needs to be affordable. The goal is not precision, it's protection. Choosing term length and policy type. Term life insurance works well for many people. Permanent life insurance is also an option, but it involves a deeper conversation around cash value, longevity, and additional features. That's a separate discussion and not the focus of this video. So if you're just looking for affordable protection, then term life insurance is often the simplest solution. Term life insurance comes in 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30-year terms most often. The idea is simple. You're covered during the years when people depend on your income. Shorter terms usually cost less. Longer terms lock in coverage for a longer period of time. One important thing to look for is guaranteed level premiums, meaning the price does not increase during the term. Choosing term length is really about matching coverage to responsibility. So if you have a newborn, longer term usually makes more sense. Or if your kids are older, a shorter term may be appropriate. If you're married without children, it becomes a question of how long you want protection for your spouse. You don't need extra riders or complicated add-ons in most cases. And you don't need to combine insurance with investing for it to do its job. Just keep it simple. Common mistakes to avoid. There are 3 mistakes that I see most often being made. The first is that people solely rely on employer coverage. Employer life insurance is a nice benefit, but it's usually limited and not portable. You typically don't own the policy, so if you leave your job or retire, that coverage cannot continue with you. And most people don't realize that employer-provided coverage above 50 grand creates taxable imputed income, meaning you're paying the premium for the policy through your taxes and likely don't even know it. That's why personally owned term life insurance is the foundation. When you own the contract, you own all of the control. The second mistake is waiting too long to buy. You see, life insurance becomes more expensive as you age and health changes over time. Even small medical conditions can affect pricing or approval odds. Waiting to buy rarely ever makes sense or improves your options. In fact, it usually just narrows them down. And the last most common mistake that I see people making is buying too little coverage. Term life insurance is typically the most affordable form of coverage you can buy. Buying too little may leave your family with difficult decisions during an already stressful time. Adequate coverage helps avoid selling assets, taking on debt, or making dramatic changes to lifestyle and daily routines. So your next step is simple. If you're ready to see real pricing or want to apply online today, use the link below in the description to get a quote for yourself now. Getting a quote takes less than 2 minutes. There's no phone calls, no pressure, and there's no obligation to buy. Don't forget that if you want guidance, you can also book a one-on-one consultation with me directly for no cost. I've posted that link in the description for you as well. If this video helped you, please hit the like button, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and drop any questions in the comments below. I do respond personally. Thanks for watching.